Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab, in my book, doing what I do for you. I got something nice for you, so let's do it. I'm ready. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right? Thinking mission. And I'm on it. It's to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of speech and spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, did you know you? And you will when I'm through. It's rhetorical. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Yeah, that's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. Yeah, that's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. Yeah, that's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I want to give you a quick lesson on the story of humans from Ra's tears. One story. And then I'm going to break down the story of the eye. One of my favorites. All right. So right quick, we got a few different variations. I told you the one about the story of Hadhu and Tahuti, how the eye went out and got caught up in his own thing, lost himself. Tahuti came and helped him out. So I did that already. I don't want to go there. I want to wrap up at the end of it, where it tells you another variation of the story holds that Ra sent Shu and Tufnut, his first two, in search of the eye. First, he sent the eye out to get them. Now he sent them to go get the eye. And then the eye resisted in the struggle. And when they brought it back to Ra, okay, he shed tears, sorrow. So the whole idea is to play on the two words, tears, that grow from men. Okay, the eye resisted and the struggle shed tears, and from the tears grew men. This is a clever play on the words. Why? Because the word for tears, remtu, R-E-M-T-U, and it means that fell from the eyes of Ra. And then you got men, spelled wreath or wreath u, R-E-T-H or R-E-T-H-U, meaning have similar sounds in ancient language. So they got them pretty much play on the word. That's what they're telling you. But now let's get to the story right quick. But the relationship of tears to man is a symbolization that the idea, watch this, now here we come, that mankind is the expression of the desire of the divine self, aka God, to what? To have a human experience in the realm of what? Time and space. I keep trying to get it across to you. We are spiritual beings in spirit. But in order for us to experience time and space, we had to come down and have a human experience. That's what God is doing. And we all individual concepts of God. Each one of us have our own individual concept. Come from the same place. Okay, hope you understand that. So let's get that out the way. But further, watch this. Now, the tears are also a symbol of human experience. Why? Good question. It implies that the human experience is a sorrowful condition. Why? Because of the ignorance of who you really are. And watch this, because consciousness, your conscious, which is spirit, not enlightened, has degraded itself to what? To the low level of gross, meaning it thinks it's human. Listen, limited human experience. That's the ego self. In what? In the form of the individual ego, ding, 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 You identify with who you are, and that's fine, but that's not who you really are. So you only got a superficial concept of yourself, which is the ego. Why? It don't know God. That's why they try to make that clear to you. So you had to what? Become conscious of who you are, which is God. The ego don't know that. And as a human, you're going to experience a whole bunch of trial and error. Hence, birth, death, reincarnation, until you get it right. Okay, that's the concept. But it's all due to the individual ego as opposed to what? The expansive, limitless self, meaning you don't know that about yourself. This contraction in consciousness is what we allow as what? The ego to what? Emerge. That's what you identify with. And it's an individual and distinct personality, one of its own. Everybody has it. It's your own unique thing, fingerprint. We're all different. One of what? It comes out of what? Excuse me. This contraction, watch this, consciousness is what allows the ego to emerge as an individual and a distinct personality, seemingly what? Out of nowhere. What you mean? Just as when you go into a dream, personality, it merges out of what? Nowhere. You go to sleep, all of a sudden you somewhere, like out of nowhere. Again, instead of what? Knowing itself as what? Immutable soul. The soul sees what? The ego self and the world of time and space as the what? The reality. So it go with the flow, so to speak. And this development of ignorance would be like the ocean. What's this? Forgetting that it is the ocean and believing that it's just a wave. I'm just a wave. I'm just a human being. Get the concept? Okay? And I'm just a wave again. So therefore, instead of seeing itself as what? All-encompassing, who is big guy, all of the wave, the whole ocean, it is concerned with what? Is transit experience of just being a wave. Like we come to life. Well, I'm going to live, get the best I could, have all the fun I could before I die. That's you not knowing you the whole ocean. You think you're the wave. Get the concept? Okay. Now, as an individual wave, and with comparing itself to what? Other waves. Rat race. Remember that? Life, as in human and limitless consciousness, is sorrowful from the standpoint of wisdom. Why? Because even conditions that appear to be pleasurable, joy, what come with that? Yeah, the pain, are in reality just setting you, the individual, up for what? Yep, disappointment. But that's reality. Equal and opposites make the whole. So you can't have one without the other. That's what Maya teaches you. Be mindful. And watch this. It's setting the individual up for disappointment, frustration, when later on. Why? Because no positive situation. My mother's favorite saying, this too soon shall pass. Man, how right she was. And that just sticks in my car because she stuffed that all my life. But it kept me from going a whole bunch of, but Mom, no, she ain't trying to hit none of that. To spam me all the asterisks, and you get over it. And she was right. But it's all about having positive situations, just like anything else, can't last indefinitely. So if it's going good, and you know it's going to what? Go bad. Also, the pursuit of what? This is most of our problem right here. The pursuit of worldly pleasures gets you in a world of trouble. And guess what? The pain sets up mental impressions that will what? Survive even after death of the physical body. Why? Because it's led by the soul and it has what they call conscious or, memory to further what? Incarnations. If the soul don't get woken up, the spirit don't get conscious who it is, it's just going to keep cycling over and over again. Okay, in search of what? In the human part, we in search of fulfillment. That's never going to happen. Why? The ego never can be satisfied. We've been to that already. So therefore, the sage says that all life, listen, is painful to the wise. This is why yoga, right in the philosophy, emphasizes what? going beyond what? Both the pleasure and the pain in order to what? Transcend the bondage of time and space. That's the astral plane where the physical body ain't no more the physical body. Everything is mental. And when you be able to do that, this physical body don't matter. Why? Because when it goes, you can still do what you need to be doing. And this can be accomplished. There you go. How? By turning away from what? The worldly things, which is all illusionary, and seeking to discover what? Your true self, aka God within yourself. Amun, the hidden one. That's what she taught another teaches you, to find God within you. Religion tell you God is outside you. I ain't doing that. Moving on. Now the masses of people, and they think y'all ignorant. This is the part I got a problem with. They just think y'all ignorant. That pissing me off because y'all proving it right by doing the nonsense that you do. The masses of people who do not have spiritual knowledge or sensitivity put up with the world and its what? Ups and downs. Why? Due to their lack of self-knowledge and lack of ability to what? Self-reflect, and having been taught what? From their youth by what? The family, society to what? Look for happiness in what? The world. A new car, big house, nice, all that good, all that's material. Religion is material. I got a lesson for that too. I just got that in the hopper for you. But the materialistic world is a religion. Why? They want things, they want stuff. Spiritual people just want to be content and happy with themselves. Big difference. They do not know any better. Again, because they're ignorant of who they are, they don't know no better, so they're being guided by somebody who's going to tell them what to do. That ain't going to be good for them. It's good for the person who's telling you. Now, through what? The development of right thinking, wisdom, and learning self-reflection, now you, that right thinker, aspirant, can develop in what? Your intuition, which transcends pleasure and pain. When you get past the physical nonsense, you raise your conscious level, empathy, compassion, speaking makaru, have your third eye open, seeing, know thyself, seeing the world the way it is. You go above the pain and you move beyond this world of ordinary human experiences. That's an enlightened being, akus. You live above the norm. That's what Haru, which the spirit is the falcon. It flies above the nonsense, okay? As in a source of what? Happiness. If you think anything material is giving you happiness, you are so wrong. Okay? If it's a now, it won't bring it to you. Person, thing is not going to bring you happiness. Knowing thyself, becoming one with your true self is the happiest thing you can ever get. And trust me, when you get that, all the other stuff is just whatever you want now. Why? Because you got what you need. Find the kingdom of heaven first. Find God first, and all that other stuff, now you can fill it in as you go. Get the concept? But the following ancient Egyptian, I see the clock, okay, Egyptian teachings highlights what? This idea of what? The sorrowfulness of ordinary human experiences. Why? They are ignorant. We suffer due to our ignorance and the urge to what? An urge the aspirant to live according to what? The teachings, which Maya, right in the philosophy of what? Righteous, virtue, and wisdom. In order to what? Avoid the sufferings of life. If you become wise, you become knowledgeable self, little stuff won't bother you. Not bragging, but I'm past that nonsense. I'm above that. That's the difference. Trying to get you to make it happen for yourself. That's how it's going to happen. I can't do it for you. I can instruct you. I'm leading you to the water. This way. Do this. Do this. And when you do that, you start figuring it out for yourself. That's my point. I don't need you to be like me. Stop that nonsense. Yeah. Know yourself. And when you like me, know yourself. Simple as that. All right? Now, right quick. Here we go. See that picture right there? That's my calling card. That's my calling card right there. Okay? The eye. You see, I rock the eye. I'm a pyramid man, okay? And on my card, I put all that into one, okay? That's what I do. Symbolical message, esoteric message. A lot of people, what the hell is that? I don't have time to explain no more. I don't even get involved no more. I just do what I do. They want to find me, do like you do. Tune in. I got you. After that, you're on your own. But let's talk about the eye right quick, the story. Now, through the story of the eye, it's very important mystical teachings that it involves and are being conveyed if you pay attention. The I, they call the Uja, spelled Udva, J-A-T, is a symbol. Remember, we doing esoteric. This ain't the fluff. This the good stuff. All right. And the Ujat is a symbol of what? Intuitional vision, internal. Intuit mean in yourself. You don't get it out here, it's in here. You got something in here that you can go to. Why? That's called the Akashic Records to those who understand. That level of understanding which is in all of us. You just had to be conscious and practice and learn. Daily meditation and righteous living. You'll find it. Also, Muhammad Ali, he found the what? The greatest love of all was where? Out in the world, become a great, nope, in himself. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. He found it. He didn't go to Egypt. He didn't go nowhere. Islam don't make a difference. Like I said, the religion didn't make him greatest. It's what he did made him the greatest. And he found that it started within him. Nothing but respect. And that's what it should be about. Also, it represents what? Your self-personal desires of what? The divine. When you want God, you do the things you need to do. If you just, I believe in God, but man, I'm trying to do me. You'll never get to God. Okay? Why? When you choose to desire the divine to go into what? When God chose to go into his creation, which is us, sorry, and the subsequent what? Forgiveness. Memory washing. I saw a guy talking about how they use us to keep coming back, draining all that nonsense. But the concept is when you come in the human form, you forget consciously who you are. You're born with a brand new brain, clean slate, so to speak. Okay? So you learn as you go. But the forgetfulness, that will ensue what? The resistance of the I to return, okay, to the divine abode. The I is your spirit. So your spirit want to what? Go back home. The I wants to go back home. What's this? And when he came here, it lost itself. It forgot who it was. That's us. Sorry. I hope you get the concept. But the divine, the I wants to go back to the home of the bull is a symbol of the what? The predicament of ordinary, ignorant people who through ignorance of themselves and intense desires to what? They'll detest the idea of even considering what? Spiritual values of life. Why? Because their hearts and mind are consumed with egoistic passions of the flesh, the carnal love for materialistic stuff. Sorry. They are consumed with the ignorant desires of human experience and the pleasures of material existence. Having created the universe in itself, the Supreme Being, God, sent its I, its consciousness, its understanding of self into what? Its creation. Again, as us. In consciousness, then became what? Lost. Memory. Don't know who it is. In what? In creation. And became the souls of human beings and all life forms. And they do what? Forgetting its true self. We're born here not knowing ourselves. Before we leave, the goal is to know ourselves. Why? So we don't come back again. The I, lost again in creation, man, is the human soul, which is caught up in the cycle of birth and death and birth, aka reincarnation. Why? Due to the forgetfulness in the ignorance and the distractions and the ignorance of what? Its true nature. God in the flesh, supreme beings. Ra sent out what? His messenger, which is who? Tahuti, the brain that's up here in your head, in the form of, they call it Metuneta. That's the writings of God giving man instructions to what? Get to God. The roadmap to get back home, okay? Y'all got some of whatever you call it, I don't know, but this is the idea. That Bible ain't nowhere in there from God. No, not a damn word, nothing. The Metuneta, which we call hieroglyphic now because we wrote in science, okay? Pictogram, guys, going back to that right now. Why? It's easy to understand. A picture worth 1,000 words. You ain't got to say much. So the Metuneta, which is ancient scripture of what? Wisdom, a.k.a. Bible. Y'all would call it Bible. We call it the book of coming forth by day. Okay? Coming to the light. What? The light of the afterlife. After this life. This is the darkness. And Sabai, which is what? What I'm trying to get to, a spiritual preceptor, aka a guru, a mystic, a sage, okay, to what? To instruct who? The I. What? All the ignorant people, we're here to help do just that, and this is telling you perfect example, to instruct the I in reference to what? Its true nature. My job is to what? To get you to know yourself. I rock what? The I. Pyramids, writings on the wall. All this is symbolic messaging that our ancients used to signify that when you see this, you should know that brother knows something. If I walk with a big cross, he must be a Christian. If I put this, okay, everybody got signs. I'm letting you know, I wear mine. I got the Giza plateau on my chest. And to top it off, I wear it on top. Logic perfection, excuse me. And having remembered, when you have remembered who it was in reality, now the I then what? Return to its rightful place. It don't get no better than that. I see I just took 20 minutes of your time. Can I get 5 more minutes? 5 more minutes. I got a little more. Watch this. To me, it's getting good. I know I see the clock, but let's talk a little more. But now, the same teachings of the I is to be found where? In the ancient Egyptian story of Haru and Set. Again, I told you, the lower against the higher, it's the spiritual war. It's the moral war inside you. The other head, the appendage, that's your ego self. It has to what? Get behind me. What they say, Satan, get behind me. As long as your ego is behind you, you got the best man behind you. Why? He ain't gonna stop fighting. That's who you want behind you. Not in front of you, because he start fighting with everybody like numbnuts we got in charge right now. That's it. Moving on. Watch this. Why? He just moving on. No truth, no understanding, and definitely he ego. Why? Ain't nothing godly about that man. Let me wrap this up for you. I appreciate you tuning in. But the same teaching of the I is found in the ancient Egyptian story of Haru and Set. That's the moral fight I told you. Why? Haru represents me and you, the son of Asar and Aset. Spirit and intuitive immortality, that's us. What makes us? We the outcome of that. Set was the brother of Asar and Aset. Now, due to what? Jealousy, anger, hatred, and greed. Those are all low-level qualities of your character that's not good. You don't want that. And Set murdered Asar. Why? Because of the qualities. You pretty much do anything. That's what it's trying to tell you. Don't be like Set, okay? But when Haru grew up, his whole goal was to what? Avenge your father's killer, which is who? The ego. And he challenged his uncle over the throne of the ancient Egypt. Haru, who represents what? The forces of good, higher self. And Set represents the forces of what? Egoism, your lower self, good, bad, up, down, don't make a difference, but they're in opposition and they're going to clash. They're going to clash. They are going to clash. Now, Set, who represents Haru represents the human spirit, which is being obstructed by who? His evil uncle, who represents distractions, dullness, in the human mind. Egoism. It don't know its higher self. Again, it's got out. But during the conflict, the moral conflict, Set tore out Haru's eye. Some variations got a few different stories. I'm gonna get one out. I'm gonna get this one out for you right quick. Now the variation of the story tells that what? Set through filth, aka feces. Okay? You know what that is? Alright, in Haru's eye. And thus led Haru to what? Despair, frustration, anger, and dejection. He found himself giving into his dark side, getting angry and wanting to do something. Because when his mother, who had a chance to corral Set, she didn't, because that was her brother and she got a little sympathy, compassion. He cut her head off in the fit of anger, so he beat himself up. That was another story, but that's the concept. And when you act out of anger, as my pastor said, you can't wallow in the mud with the pig and claim not to be a pig. So if you against violence and you become violent, you can't claim to be non-violent and exercise violence. You can't claim to be a good guy or and you're a bad guy. You claim to be, no, you can't do that. You got a guy in the White House now. How you going to distribute anything right and just? You ain't even right or just. Moving on. I keep hitting them, but I can't help it. But it is Tahuti, which is your conscience, which is God's mind, that telling you who restored what? The inner vision of Haru through what? Through the power of what? Magical words. We call them Heka, words of power. And also is really what? Wisdom teaching. He educated him, and he advised him. He gave him some understanding, some tutoring, some teaching, wisdom teaching. And watch this in this context. The whole teaching of wisdom, which Tahuti applies, which is Heka, again, the words of power. They call it magic. He gave this to the eye and causes it to now what? He put Haru back down to what? Remember, like he did Haru. Remember who you are. We lost your memory. When you get stupid, you got to calm him down. And remember his essential nature is what? Glory as the eye of Haru. Upon its return, now Haru is stronger. The eye provided Haru with what? With strength and will that he needed to what? Overthrow his uncle. Your egoistic desires will get the best of you. If you get weak, if you show any kind, he's going to get you. That's what the devil prides on. That's what the concept. And y'all call it the devil. It's the ego. The ego is the devil. Trust me. Y'all just view it different. Same thing. But the story mythologicalize the journey of what your human soul. This is a story about you and about your life. And it's eventual redemption, wherein what? You achieve sublimation over what? Your lower self, your ego, and you don't kill it. You just get control of it. Now it's a servant position. It's under your control now. You don't let it run nothing no more. It knows its place behind you. And your ego now attained to what? Self-realization that what? From the ancient Egyptian book of coming forth by day. That's the whole part about knowing thyself is conquering the ego self, wrapping it up. I said a few minutes, a little longer. Roll with me. Hold on. He's about to wrap it up right here. This will take me home. Now, in this aspect, the whole lesson, the plight of the eye is subsequent restoration through what? The teachings of who? Tahuti, your higher self, the transmitter of wisdom when you go into meditative state, and it embodies what? The principles of the teacher-disciple. I teach, you listen. When I go in meditation, my higher self is talking, I'm listening. That's the student-disciple relationship that I have with my higher self. But this relationship through which what? The spiritual knowledge is transmitted. When Ra gave Aset the word, it was transmitted telepathically. Why? Not in words, in actions, in deeds. And he promised one thing, give it to Haru, which is what? His offspring, your son. We saw this same principle in what? In the initiation, you ready? Of Haru by who? Aset, his mother. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It all ties in. And it may be found again in what? The Gnostic Christianity, which the teachings of, you ready? Jesus to what? His disciples. And the same story about the Thessala, as well as the what? The Indian Vedantic principles in the guru-disciple relationship, such as Krishna and Arjuna, and Vashista and Rama. All these is teacher-student relationships in every different culture. Everybody had it. Now, Tahuti is what I like to call myself what? A master teacher who initiates who? You, the aspirant, my right thinkers, on this spiritual path that we call life of wisdom or right thinking philosophy. In teaching others, what? The priest or the priestess assumes the role of Tahuti, your teacher. Tahuti is the guru, aka of the eye. In Hinduism, this process is immortalized in the epic of what? The Bhagavad Gita and the Yoga Vashastra, the Ramayana scripture. Those are their books of enlightenment, higher level, okay, aka religious concepts or literature. In these two scriptures, two aspirants are reminded of who? Their divine essence, nature, by who? The guru, who are themselves what? One with the divine self. Gradually, they are led to what? Realization of what? The true self through what? A process in which involves the classical teaching of what? Yoga or right thinking philosophy based on wisdom, self-reflection, and daily meditation. I'm giving it to you. That's what it is. Wrapped it up, taking it home. And these texts are highly recommended for any serious student of yoga, scripture, or want to better themselves, aka right thinkers. I'm giving it to you pure. No cut. Hope you enjoyed it. That's the lesson. Appreciate you tuning in. In closing, right thinkers, may y'all let it be 100, maybe 100 miles a day, but at least you'll be living right, and that's the only way. I appreciate you. I'm out.